Today we are going to talk about guitar gear that is way overpriced. If you're familiar with my YouTube channel, you may know that I own a shitload of guitar gear. And to clarify one thing, I am not biased at all about these things, so I'm not sponsored. I bought all this stuff by myself, paid it with my own money. So I can, or in my videos, you will always get my personal opinion. And today I would like to talk about some things which I own where I think they're way too expensive. And also I would like to talk a little bit about some other things on the market which I don't own, but where I think they might be a little bit too expensive or way too expensive. In the past I made a video about things which have a great bang for the buck value or ratio. If you're interested in that, please check out my video about that. And today's video I would like to start off with one thing which is pretty obvious, my opinion. So the thing which is mostly overpriced, which I own, is this thing, I think. The Mesa Dual Recto head. And I think most of you beautiful ladies know these things, the Mesa Recto heads, at least the 3-channel things. Yeah, you have 3 channels, and each channel has 3 modes here. Raw, Vintage, Modern. I think this one has only 2. It's clean and pushed, so it's basically the clean channel. And these 2 channels, they are more or less similar, not exactly the same. Other than that, you have an effects loop, at least in this version of the Dual Recto. And yeah, that's it basically. You can also select triad and pentatonic mode and some shit like that. But other than that, it's really nothing special. And why is this amp so expensive? Well, I don't know. I think one reason is that over here in Europe you have to import these things from the US of A, and that makes things somehow important and somehow expensive. But yeah, it's not a very special amp. Apart from that, the voicing is very unique in my opinion. So you don't find any other amp. At least I don't know of any other amps except from the Mesa amps like the Road King and the Rectos, which have a similar voicing. Of course, it's a versatile amp. You can get many tones out of that, but that is the case with other amps too, which are way cheaper. And also there are a couple of things which are, well, not really well done in this thing. For example, the effects loop is not working that well. Somehow, I don't know, it's, I think, parallel. Couldn't get very decent results with the effects loop, to be honest. At least when I was inserting a gate and delay and some shit. Then also you cannot switch the channels here from the front plate. You always have to use this one. So I don't know of many other amps that are not able to switch the amps on the front plate. And yeah, other than that, I mean, you have some competitors, at least if you're playing metal music, which maybe many people do, that use the dual rectifier. You have these PVs, which were ridiculously cheap. Here, got this one I think for 600 or 700 euro. And to be honest, I could get way better results for a high saturated metal tone with this thing than with the Dual Recto. Dual Recto always needs some EQing, additional EQs, and also you have to boost it with the pedal. As this one here, it stays tight even without the pedal, and you can get great metal tones. Of course, you can boost it, and many people are doing it, but you don't need to, in my opinion, not necessarily. Also, you have these angle amps here, which are also very affordable, at least over here in Germany. The Powerball sounds great, has a brilliant noise gate, one of the best noise gate built in an amp that I know. Very high saturated tone that stays tight and articulate. Also this one here, the Savage. And to give you a number, this thing, before COVID I think, it was about 3,500 euro over here in Germany. This thing is maybe 1,500. And this thing maybe around 2,000. So it's the Angle Savage. So just to give you a comparison. And I think now the Mesa amps relaunched, the products in Europe, they're even more expensive. So Mesa products in general are, in my opinion, way overpriced. At least over here in Europe, I have to say. Because they have competitors like Angle or also Marshall, which are really cheap over here in Germany. I have also here the Mesa Tri-Axis and the 290, which I think are also way overpriced, these things. They sound great, they're very flexible. That is true. And I use this combination live, kick-ass, yes. But the price of these units together was maybe about 4,000 euro. And in comparison, I used the Angle Tube Preamp 530 here, together with an Angle Power Amp. And that was together maybe around 1,500 euro. Sound quality was similar to the Mesa, I have to say. Of course, you have only 4 channels here in this preamp, so it's not that flexible like a 290 Tri-Axis combination. And as I said, I like the Tri-Axis. It sounds great, only I think it's a little bit too expensive, if not way too expensive. Again, maybe it's due to the origin in the US of A. It's a little bit of a shame because I like the Mesa products. I think they are doing a great job as far as tones are concerned, but they're just too expensive. And that said, in my opinion, today's world, it's not justified to take more than maybe 2,500 or 3,000 euro for a plain amp head. If you look at Sodanos or Friedmans, it's ridiculous. I mean, they sound good, okay. But also the Angle products sound good and they don't cost maybe 4,000 euro. Also these things here, the PV amps, if you are looking for great high gain tones, I mean, these are no longer in production, the JSX and the XXX, but honestly, they sound great. And they were not costing a fortune when they are in production. Or the Marshall JVM, which is around 1,100 euro, and it's one of the most flexible tube heads I know. Anyway, so that's it for the amps. And for the guitars, there are also a couple of guitars which I'd like to mention, which are way overpriced. These are here, these 3 guitars. Hope you can see them. This one over here, and this one, and also this one here. These are Music Man J. Petrucci, JP6s and JP7. Let me get one for you. So yeah, here we have this one. You may know this, it comes with a Piezo bridge, but it was also around maybe 3,000 euro. And it sounds great, that's for sure. And it plays great also, that's for sure. But the thing is, 3,000 or more euro is quite a big number in today's guitar world. And because there are competitors like the Harley Benton Fusion, for example, which come with stainless steel frets, which this guitar doesn't have. So the Petrucci, they have pretty worn out frets in my case, which is a shame. And also the hardware, it's broken here. You have to replace the knobs. The piezo in one of these things is broken. Piezo sounds great. It's one of the best sounding piezos in an electric I know. But honestly, is that worth maybe the €2,000 extra you have to pay. So I think it's way too much for a guitar like that, even if it sounds and plays great. And also I have another one, which is this beautiful guitar. Comes also with a piezo bridge. It's the Fame Forum 4, and this comes around €1,000. But also, I mean, Seymour Duncan pickups. Other than that, no stainless steel frets. And if you compare it, for example, to the Harley Benton CST series, which I feature a lot on my videos, or not a lot, but I own a couple of them. They're quality-wise the same. They don't have the piezo bridge, but they're around maybe €250 or something, or 200 even. And then a guitar which has more or less the same features, except they don't have stainless steel frets and costs even 3 or 4 times as much. I'd say they're too expensive. One thing which might be questionable, but I personally not recommend that for the price, is also the Kemper, because it's pretty old. I don't know, it came out maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I don't know. The sound quality when I was doing profiles by myself, it was not convincing at all. But that said, there are profiles out there which sound really nice. That is true. The thing with the Kemper is nowadays it's still around maybe €1,600. And there are other modeling units on the market, for example the Headrush Prime or the Hotone Ampero, which are way cheaper, which offer more or less the same effects quality and also amp quality, if not better. Because the thing with the Kemper is I personally couldn't get the best results with the Kemper when playing. I released my high gain preset pack for the Kemper as for all the other modeling units, and I was happy with the tones, but in a comparison to the other units, I had a hard time to get the good results out of that. And also I heard the Kemper a couple of times in professional environments when people are playing through the Kemper direct to front of house and they use high gain tones. And there was always something that sounded artificial. So I don't know what it was, but especially with high gain tones, it never sounded really like a tube amp. But also I heard way better results from people using other modeling units, especially the Fractal Audios, but also the Cortex, even the Mooer GE300. Or the Helix. So I don't know why that was the case, but yeah, the Kemper was something which never really convinced me. It can sound great, that's for sure, especially for clean and edge of breakup tones. Maybe it feels okay. It doesn't feel necessarily better than playing one of the Hotone Ampero 2s or the newer DSPs. And for that reason, I'd say it's too expensive nowadays. Of course, there's also the thing with the display, which is very old-fashioned. So I would say if you offer a unit above the €1,000 and it doesn't come with a decent display, touchscreen, whatever, well, it has to sound pretty good to convince me. And for today's units, that's only the case with the Fractal units. They sound great, and so you have to accept their poor user interface. So that's it for the products which I own, where I would say they are too expensive. And of course there are some other products on the market where I think they might be overpriced, and the most The most prominent thing is the, how is it called? The Fender modeling unit, Fender Tone Master Pro, I think. They released a modeling unit which is more or less the size of the newer DSP quad Cortex. Comes with a fancy touchscreen and nice buttons and so on. But as I heard from people using that, I've never tried it by myself, I have to say, but the sound results were not convincing, and the unit didn't feature really many amps, caps and effects. And that is something which I expected in a way, because it's a company, Fender, which is more or less not that used to the market of floor modeling units. I think maybe it's the first high-end product in that segment. And also with the newer DSP, they didn't do the best jobs when they came out with the quad Cortex, although they had a pretty long experience with creating plugins for PCs. But the first version of the newer DSP quad Cortex, it was also similar. It didn't come with the most convincing amp simulations and also very few effects and so on. And if you would like to get maybe 1,800 euros for your unit, then it should also be on the level that justifies this price. And I think from what I heard, the Tone Master is not on that level already. So this might be overpriced. I would think about getting that if it comes around 1,000 euro or even cheaper, but not at the price they are currently available. So that is one thing which I like to mention, which is maybe too overpriced. And other things on the market, obviously the amp heads I mentioned before, which are in the 6,000 euro range. The so-called boutique amp heads, I never get why they are so expensive, because they don't sound necessarily better than some other cheaper heads which you're using with the same or with the right boost pedals, guitars, pickups, whatever combination. Cabinet is maybe way more important, at least in my opinion. And what else? Of course, there are also mostly guitars which are way overpriced in my opinion. For example, or that is due to the case that you can get really great quality guitars for very few money nowadays. Especially by Harley Benton, but also by other brands which appear on Amazon or something. I'm not too familiar with these Amazon guitars, like maybe Earl guitars or something, but I heard that they're really spot on. Come with stainless steel frets, and then if you compare it to Ibanez or maybe Jackson Professional Series, or I don't know, what is it called? A series around maybe 1,000 euro, comes with also Floyd Rose 1000 tremolos, same like on the Benton Fusion. Then maybe Duncan pickups or EMGs or whatever, but no stainless steel frets. And then they want to have 1,000 euro, 2,000 euro, just because it says, well, Jackson on it, or maybe ESP is even worse, maybe the ESP made in Japan. 2,000-3,000 euro guitars with similar specifications like the Harley Benton Fusions, except for the pickups, and maybe similar build quality. I don't know, but then 10 times the price. I don't know. From my opinion, that is way too much for a guitar nowadays. I wouldn't pay 2,000 euro for a guitar, honestly. And of course, there are way more expensive guitars, like all the custom shop things and collector items and something like that. But that is way out of my focus, because if I'm getting gear, I would like to play it. And maybe there are other people that are buying maybe expensive things as, I don't know, maybe to resell it at a higher price in the future or something. That is totally different focus than the one I have. So I think if you look on the guitar products which are now on the market, you find pretty many products which are overpriced due to the fact that you can get so much quality for so few money now at the moment. And that is something which really changed the guitar world, in my opinion. You can get a plugin that sounds kick-ass for 100 euro that replaces maybe the whole Mesa amp effects stack of John Petrucci and gives you maybe 90% or 95, 99% of the sound for maybe 100 euro. So you have to compare these things nowadays. If you got any experiences with way overpriced gear, then please feel free to post it in the comment section. Other than that, I hope to see you. Bye.